Are your inner senses turning on high volume and all of a sudden every little thing that is crossing your path having a strong impact on you? Are you finding that people are being more explosive with you even though generally you get along okay? Or how about feeling that people that you used to enjoy a lot, just you can't even be in their presence? Or that the strong inner messages coming to you, you can no longer ignore? Well, these are incredibly powerful, divine invitations from your angels and guides that you don't want to miss, because now is the moment on this planet where we are really collectively being invited to level up. And if you get those messages and you make those choices, your life is going to dramatically improve really fast, because you're going to learn how to first change your energy and then direct it to what it is that will really fulfill your sense of purpose and bring you some peace. My name's Sonia Choquette. Thank you for joining me today. If you found your way to this channel for the first time, I want you to know that your angels brought you here, your higher self, your light being protectors, your teacher guides, because you are ready to have a dramatically different experience. And if you're coming back, welcome back. These are the times and the moments where we are rapidly changing our energetic experience. We're becoming a different type of being, a fifth dimension being. And today I want to talk about the 7 invitations that you do not want to miss, that will rapidly change your vibration and elevate your experience to the point that you're going to think it's a miracle. So stick around, and if you like this, then really let me know. Step number 1, the guides are asking you very strongly, and your angels are asking you very strongly to pay attention to what you're putting in your body. It's really important. This is not about even having a healthy heart. Of course, we always want to, or lower your blood pressure. This is about changing the energetic field. So it is time to recognize that your body is an incredible magnetic broadcaster, but it is only going to broadcast as strongly and effectively as what it's running on. Now, the first thing it needs, way more than it's getting probably for you, is water. Because when your body is dehydrated, your frequency and your capacity to manifest collapses, just like an engine needs water. It is a crystal. Water is a crystal that amplifies energy. But not only do you need to drink more water, you want to infuse it with your intentions. There was a beautiful man that I knew that I had the pleasure of knowing, Dr. Emoto, who wrote, about water and putting intention in water. And I want you to know that if you take 2 or 3 seconds to infuse your water with intention, it can be as simple as, my water is going to give me energy. My water is going to cut negative cords. My water is going to amplify my vibration. This water that I'm drinking is going to clear old negative patterns. It will. So drinking water and consciously infusing it with energy is intention number 1. And even do it for 7 days and see what happens. If you're consistent with your intention, you will immediately get results. The other thing, and what goes without saying, is that right now, I don't know what your dietary orientation is, but for the next few days, do not consume dense frequency foods like meat, like processed packaged food that just generally doesn't have any energy in it. One of the best ways to know if what you're eating is good for you or will amplify and really begin to broadcast a higher frequency, make you more magnetic, is muscle testing. Simply put one hand on your heart, whatever you're going to eat, put it in your hand and have someone push down on it or like this. And if it's not good for you, your body will tell you the truth and it will collapse. Plus, honest to God, stop, pause, interrupt the autopilot and think, is this going to give me the kind of energy that will elevate my vibration and create magnetism? That's what we're looking for. A frequency that's clear, that's bright, that's self-loving, that's generally broadcasting outwardly loving. You have to just work on the body. And then the third thing is quiet. Your body holds a field, and that field becomes like a crowded, clogged, dull frequency, and quiet clears. You know, and the best things to do is ring a bell, because that shatters all the old dense energies, kind of breaks them up. So if you have a bell, you can ring it and just sit quietly and focus on your breath for just 2 or 3 minutes. Unplug. Don't listen to music. Don't listen to broadcasts. Don't let anything in. Just let breathing clear your field. Now, that's the first set of invitations from your angels to really elevate your magnetic frequency so that you can become a master manifester and attractor. The second set of invitations is emotional elevation. So the very first choice, and this is going to be a big one, is to choose to do something fun that you love every day for the next 7 days. One thing, it doesn't have to be a big time investment. It could be singing. I have a client who was really in a funk. She'd been trying to date, and she was, going on dates, but she was attracting people. She said, I'm in a depression, but they're worse than me. And of course, it's an energetic, amplified magnetic field. So she knew, and we had talked about it, she did need to change her vibe. And she said, I don't want to have to, clear my trauma and do, all the history work. That's going to take years. What can I do now? And my guide suggested to sing, and that sing the songs that she really enjoyed when she found any moment in time when she was happy. So she chose the song because she's my age. She said, when I was little, I loved this song, Born to Be Wild, because I just wanted to be, and I wasn't. And it wasn't even a song my parents allowed me to listen to much. They kept saying, you can't have that record, turn it off. But I said, well, turn it on, sing along, and let that fire spirit in you begin to infuse your field. And then do one little wild thing. What would be a wild thing? Well, for her, she said, she had this very short gray hair, and she said, I want to put some pink highlights in my hair. That's so not me. I'm so beige. And I said, go for it. So she did change her frequency by putting a little bit of that pink, played the song Born to Be Wild instead of listening to the news. And in 3 dates, she met someone who she was singing, humming Born to Be Wild when she was waiting for their coffee date. And when he walked in, he heard her and he said, I love that song. And they started talking about old times, being young, having fun when they were in their teens, and they instantly hit it off. And she said, I don't know if we'll date, fall in love, but I do know we can be friends. And it's the first connection I have had in quite a while that I want to pursue. And I said, it's because your field changed. You changed your song from singing the blues to, rock and roll and let's have some fun. And you match that frequency because right now, every one of us is broadcasting on high energy out, and it will magnetize whatever we're putting out will come back to us. So the way to change your vibration energetically, the guides are saying, is introduce the element of fun, of joy, of laughter, instead of being up in the mental frequencies. That's really important to do one fun thing. What I do for fun is I like to go to the zoo. I can walk there because I'm here in London, so I take my granddaughter to the zoo and I have fun. I like to watch cartoons. That's something that makes me laugh. I like to make things. I like to make cards. I like to write books. I like to create songs for my grandkids. They don't take much, but it puts me in a frequency that feels good. I like to imagine making movies. I always am imagining making movies. So that's what I do for fun. Put in the notes, what do you do for fun? This is the thing that a lot of people have lost touch with, and it is a huge power that got unplugged. A lot of us were raised in schools where it said fun was a waste of time, which was a complete programming to have you give up your power and give up your highest frequency after love is joy. So this is something that might take a little bit of effort to lean into. But like my friend who was born to be wild and forgot, the minute she even started faking it till she made it, she saw in just a very short period of time a huge shift, and you will too. This isn't something you have to do for a year. Our magnetic fields our fields are really broadcasting, and they're calling in what we're broadcasting. Now, the other thing that you want to be aware of right now, because the frequency has been turned up, is recall. You will find two things. It'll be inner and outer. Memories come back, maybe of times where you were deeply wounded or went through a really hard period, and maybe when you were very young, things you hadn't thought about for years. This isn't to haunt you. It isn't to torment you, but it is for you to revisit with more conscious eyes and to see what was the gift, what was the learning, what was the takeaway that will empower you. Second, people may show back up in your life, whether they do internally or they do externally. It's going to make a difference. It's for closure. It's for healing. It's for saying, look, I'm not even triggered anymore. I went through a very difficult time after being married for 32 years. My ex-husband is back in town, and I am happy to say he doesn't trigger me at all. I'm actually capable of holding a frequency of being interested in having more compassion for him and me and us, and how our vibrations shifted. So it just made sense. We had to go separate ways. And even though the process kind of stunk, we're on the other side of it. And it just made sense. So there's no reason to be victimized or pissed. That's all ego stuff. So if you have people showing up and they come back, maybe you're supposed to recalibrate. Maybe you're just supposed to have closure and acceptance and just say, no more draining of my energy from the third dimension. No more reactivity, no more judgment. Just let each other just see whatever is coming back, as we're just doing our thing. And if it doesn't match, doesn't match. No foul, no wrong, no enemy, no, it just is what it is. So pay attention to your emotional frequency, because if you don't have a joyful, happy, clear frequency, at least a little bit, you're going to pull in and magnetize the funk. You will, because it wants to stop. So that's the second set of really important choices. And these are small tweaks. These are not major overhaul. The third is your choices, and that your guides are turning up your internal intuition so that you are aware that every choice you make brings with it an enormous surge of intention. And if you're choosing to ignore what feels right for you, or you're choosing to suppress or deny what your core frequency is broadcasting, you are really harming yourself. It's like, have you ever been on an airplane where they're going to have a takeoff and then they have an aborted takeoff? They actually don't go. You're like, and then bam, you're thrown back. Well, when you choose to ignore what you're feeling and denying it or suppressing it to people please or keep the peace, or it's just easier, it's very harmful right now. You've been getting along with it for a while, but not anymore. It will bug you. It will drain you. Could even give you a headache. For example, I have a client who has had a group of friends since high school. But for various reasons, everybody is having their own lived experience and choosing their own vibration. The three of them do not vibe anymore in the same way that they used to when they were young. They have very different outlooks. They have very different aspirations. They have very different priorities. My client her priorities are spiritual consciousness and joy and creativity. One of the other friends, her priority is more being a follower, just not yet taking any sort of personal agency about her decision. She's just following this, quoting this leader, that politician, this blah, blah, blah. And it really bugs my client. So they're supposed to, like, ostensibly, they talk, they get together, they have lunch once a month. She said, I just can't, when I was there, I was just bored. There was nothing going on. This is not my vibe. This is not my frequency. I sat for a while, but I kept feeling more and more dissonant. And then she said, I just had to go. I knew we grew up. I knew we were in college together. I knew we had spent time on road trips together, but I just had to go. I was bored, and boredom means your spirit is not engaged. So where you're bored, irritated, and pay attention to this one, judgmental. When you start making someone super, super wrong, just remember, one finger pointing back, there's three back at you, meaning, look, you're the one. That is, you can't force the world to vibrate with you. You need to self-select out. And don't make anyone wrong. Everybody is having their own evolutionary process, some more than others, some choosing not at all. Not your business. Your business is to stay connected to what's true for you, to align and choose. This is the power of choice, is also the power of intention, which is also the power of creation. So it requires a discernment that maybe you need to pay attention to. Slow down, be quiet, breathe, listen, feel the frequency. And if the frequencies you're around aren't aligning, then it's time to make some exits. Now, this could be highly disturbing for a lot of people who say, well, the frequency I can't stand is my partner. I know. I had to step out on one. It's not easy, but maybe it's time. And if you choose not to, okay, then those are the consequences of that choice. And it's kind of a when the rubber hits the road thing. It's like, how can I live in integrity while staying here? So you have to look at, why am I staying? Am I loving someone? For example, I have a client who's married to someone who is very alcoholic and very, very aggressive and toxic, but she has a family, she has 5 kids, she has dependency, she's not working. So she said, look, I know that this vibration is not ideal for me or my kids, but I also know that at this point in time, getting a divorce or confronting my partner will be super debilitating to everybody. I don't have it in me. Well, that's the truth. I can't do anything. Well, that's where the choice is wrong. Nobody's a victim. There's lots of things you can do. You can practice acceptance and go to Al-Anon meetings or, codependency meetings and learn how to be in relationship without being enmeshed. You can get completely involved in developing your own autonomy, your own gifts, your own sovereignty, your own money. It's not a matter, but it just boils down to, and that you're highly encouraged by your angels and guides. Don't make the choice that I can do nothing, because that's not true. And if you choose that, you're choosing to stay in third dimension victimhood, and that's going to be a bumpy ride. Planet's leveling up. You don't have to go the full explosive breakdown. Although, if you have it in you, your guides are saying, we got your back. Your angels are saying, we'll help you connect to what really works for you. Now, here's something super important to know at this frequency that the guides and angels are suggesting. You cannot change someone else. And this is where we spend most of our time. It's like, I had a client who's been considering divorce, and a lot of that is going on because vibrations are separating. She said, I just have been hanging on and hanging on and hanging on and giving him books and going to therapy and going to counseling. And, if you just get on my frequency, it'd be fine because mine is good. And I said, but it's not working. You've been in this for 4 or 5 years now. Enough. Just admit you need to let go. You need to face the unknown. You need to lean into the uncertainty of a new life and pray for your angels and ask your guides and creator to help you. The whole universe is on standby to say you don't have to accept this very low level of frequency. And it's in your field. It's in your field. I have another client who said she has been very guided, very clearly guided, because she's had so much death and loss around her, to create, to actually become a spiritual coach, an intuitive guide for people who are going through traumatic death and loss. And everybody around her is saying that why are you doing that? That's a bummer. That's too ambitious. That's strange. Just getting a lot of feedback from the world around her, not support. So she said, am I delusional? Are they right? And I said, or are you being taught not to need approval before you start this? Because people going through death and through loss and are really in grief and suffering can't take care of you. They're desperately trying to take care of themselves. So maybe this process for you is training to get that people-pleasing part out so you can do your work. So that's another big invitation, is look at your choices. Check in with your vibes. Check in with your higher self. Check in with your inner senses. That brings us to the next set of choices that your angels and guides are insisting you pay attention to now, because your energetic field needs to level up and it will bring you instant miracles. And that is, listen to your inner guidance. Don't argue with it. Don't fight it. Don't shop it around. And, I've spent 50 years teaching people to do this. My book, Trust Your Vibes, my book, Tune In, my book, The Answer is Simple, will help you. And my book, Uplifting Prayers, to light your way if you really need that extra support to listen to your intuition, because it's scary for you. What's scary is that taking responsibility for yourself. Think about this. You know what's scarier? Not giving other people that power. Who's going to take better care of you than you? Now, intuition is going to come through very subtly. My teachers have always said, and I've communicated, it's like a butterfly on your cheek. It's not like nail you, to stable you to the wall. Not generally. It's subtle. It'll say call so-and-so, or if you have synchronistic experiences, this is the warm-up. Thinking of your high school best friend, and then the next thing you know, you're nose to nose with them at the mall or at the grocery store, or getting a sudden urge to turn a certain way, and there you find the absolutely best parking spot. Now, these little gifts give you incentive to trust your vibes. They're positive reinforcements. And every time one of those happens, say thank you out loud. That takes us to even the next set. We're working with choosing to listen to our hearts, choosing to listen to our intuition, and saying so. Opening the throat chakra is the big game changer. This is the gatekeeper from fourth to third dimension to fifth. This is where all the frequency changes and you become magnetic. Say thank you all the time. Listen to your intuition, even if it's scary, or if you can't. At least say what your intuition is saying, and please don't make this mistake. Be aware that when you do, which is, I don't know why I'm feeling this, because that's renouncing that you are intuitively wired into energy and frequency as a divine being. I don't know why. You do know why. You are a divine being. You are an energetically, vibrationally aware being, and you're becoming more vibrationally aware, and this is information you're getting vibrationally. And then when you speak with power. Do you speak from the head or do you speak from the heart? Because if you speak from the heart, what you say will come flying back at you, which is miraculous. I live a charmed life. That's one of the things my teachers said, to have people say, I live a beautifully charmed life. Life works out for me. Life is very generous for me. Life surprises me with gifts every day. Life is lovely. I love life. I love my life. Those are opening the throat chakra and letting your energy infuse your field so that you become magnetic at a high level. And then the last thing to really focus on this week, because we're going to have lots of downloads, but these are massive choices. And is in asking you to be, this is how you magnetize your field and know your field is talking to everybody. If it's clear, if it's happy, if it's intentional, if it's aligned, if it's loving, if it's empowered by acknowledging what's true for you, then you will be irresistible. Which brings us to the final choice, which is, can you be loving? Now, loving doesn't mean caretaking. It doesn't mean being sentimental. You know, the truth of the root of love is just accepting that everybody is where they are, doing the best they can with what they know, and you're not going to fight it or judge it. And if it doesn't work for you, you're just going to disengage and love yourself enough to keep broadcasting out the frequency that you want to match. Now, these are a lot of choices, but they actually are the most natural ones to stay in alignment with your highest vibration. Your guides are saying, if you make these choices now, your life will miraculously change. Your angels are saying, don't miss this portal, because the universe, as of this most recent times, between now and in the middle of December, is sending so much love and support, but you'll miss it if your own energetic field is muddled, out of integrity, aligned, full of noise, not following the frequency of really, I know as a self-loving, responsible, empowered, conscious being, I am making the choices to make my magnetic field work. And then finally, and this is the final one, what do you want next? Because the universe is saying, look, we're happy to help you create, attract, magnetize, and experience what your soul and heart are yearning for very quickly. Because if you're having a happy experience, you're aligned, you are a profound teacher, a profound guide, and helping people from the third dimension find their way out of the muddled mess. If you feel this, you might even be called to experience and serve as a guide, as a gifted intuitive guide, which is grounded and intuitive and really empowering others, facilitating others' enlightenment and transmissions. If you feel that, believe it. You're being pushed into the position, and for many of you, it's like, what's my purpose? That might be your purpose, but you can't do anything for others unless you're living by example, and you're in training now. So sign up, line up, put in the comments that if you're getting these messages, if you're willing to make these choices. It's a big mistake to miss these opportunities. Don't miss these divine invitations. It'll change your field, what you're broadcasting. And if you line it up, you're going to be a miracle maker in a week, for real. So put in our comments and notes, do you feel called to be a guide? And now you're in training, so your own frequency is nice and aligned. Are you getting the memos? Do you feel like you're ready to be conscious and make new decisions? All of that is what's coming up now. Don't miss the invitations. Its timing is super important. We can't get around to this and be okay, because if we don't level up, our fields are being amplified, so we're just going to pull in more of the muck. If we stay stuck, we'll be in the muck. If we level up, we'll start bringing in the miracles. And that's the message for today. So thank you for tuning in. I hope that you get something out of this. Please subscribe, because I'm transmitting huge energy fields right now, massive portals for the guides to come in, major help for you, making it easy step by step. Share this if you have anyone in your life that could benefit and who would work with you, because we do best And if you don't have anyone who will work with you, please can look into my Good Vibes Tribe, because I have created a tremendous community who will work with you and support you. So thanks for tuning in. We are leveling up the magnetic field. Don't ignore these invitations. It's too great a price to pay. Don't ignore the golden opportunities. All my love.